Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dave here with Go Gamers, and today we got this PS5 motherboard that was actually shipped in from a viewer. He said that it's having a lot of issues, so let's look at it on the repair bench and see exactly what's going on. Let's get started. All right, guys. So as you can see, we have a PS5 fat motherboard here, and um, actually, let me say this: when the customer shipped this in, because I want to tell anyone who wants to ship in anything for repair, you don't have to just ship in just a motherboard. You can ship in the entire console. Some customers choose to ship in motherboards, which makes my job a lot easier. So I never have any problems with it. Um, when you ship in these game consoles, always remember to take off and remove the liquid metal in full. So when I got it in, the board was covered in drenched in liquid metal that it was not wanting to come off. So I ended up running it through my ultrasonic cleaner, running some IPA over top of the motherboard, setting on my dehumidifier overnight, and now it's good to go. So as you can see on the upper cam, this is our motherboard. Now, a couple things. This motherboard is not turned on. Customer said he bought this from someone else, where he said it's not turned on. It originally had the blue light of death issue, where it would turn on, it would pulsate blue, and it would just turn right back off. They took it into another repair shop, and the other repair shop made it even worse. Um, they attempted to repair what's right here. This is known as the HDMI IC. This is your encoder. HDMI port is also broken, so we would have to fix that as well. They attempted to repair the HDMI IC and did a terrible job. So let's go over to the microscope and let's look at this and see how bad of a job this repair shop did. So let's get started. All right, so here we are right here. This is our HDMI IC, our encoder for our HDMI port. Now, the crazy thing about this is if this is broken or not put on right or anything like that, this chip will not work at all. So, yeah, we can see how bad this is. I mean, just look at how much damage they did to the traces, to the entire header. I mean, this is a terrible job, and I have no idea why in the world the repair shop even took this in if they had no clue what they was doing. And unfortunately, repair shops like this give us a bad name when people they don't know how your repair skills is like, and they took it somewhere else and they end up having a bad experience, and then they just end up just not trusting any other repair shop. So this makes us look terrible, but I'm going to go ahead and lift this off the motherboard. But the new shop claims that this is a brand new, good working HMI IC. So um, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to load up my fume extractors. I'm going to take my heat one. I'm going to set it at 500. I'm going to set my airflow to about 4.5. I'm gonna go ahead, pop some flux on this, and we're gonna get this removed off the motherboard. Put all fresh new solder down on the board, on the actual IC as well, and see if that will also get the issue fixed. Also, to this letter that the customer wrote, thank you, Matt, for shipping this in. He also said, really enjoy the videos. Definitely really appreciate the support, and I appreciate everybody else's support who ship in their game console. If you also want to ship in your game consoles as well, just go to gogamers.com/repair. So let's get started on this. All right, so we have the HDMI IC lifted off the motherboard. Now I have my Hacko solder iron heating up. I also did clean the header and everything with 99% IPA and a toothbrush. So now what I'm going to do is just get up a lot of this excess solder, and we're going to go through and put all brand new solder onto the header. So let's go ahead and get that done now. All right, so I was able to get as much solder off as possible. You really don't want a huge glob of solder in the middle like how that other repair shop did. I actually never put any solder in the middle. The reason being is once you place that solder in the middle, then it when you try to solder on that chip, the chip typically does a solder on um, level. So I got as much off as possible, and now I'm going to go through, put new fresh solder all throughout the header. So now I got to get this done without having to touch that middle. So let's get that knocked out. All right. So took me a long time to get this HDMI IC header right. And that is not surprising because it was a ton of damage on it. Now, my God. First off, look at this IC. Look at the header. It's a lot better. It's not how as good as I would want it to be. Obviously, you know, I can usually always get it way better than this, but I mean, it's only so much I can really do. I'm actually missing a cap right here. I have no idea where that went, so I'll have to replace that. But I wanted to turn my attention over to, before I'll put that cap on, I wanted to turn my attention over to this IC. What in the world is going on with this? I've never seen anything like this. Are the pads even there? What is going on? This is crazy. Let's try to apply some solder and see what happens. What is going on with this? All right, so I just do not trust um using this IC now. Obviously, I was able to get solder on these sides over here. I just don't know if I really trust it because they claim this is a brand new IC. I mean, does this really look brand new to you guys? Yeah, I am just going to go ahead and just um, grab another IC from a donor board and put another one on there. I don't want to risk putting that back on there, shipping that back out to a customer, then they end up having another issue later on. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to replace this cap that somehow flew off, and then I'm going to move on to getting that new IC placed on here. So let's get that done. All right, guys, so I got that cap put back in place. I have a HDMI IC from a donor motherboard. Now, this is what it's supposed to look like. You can see all that solder is on there perfectly versus that other one that they claimed was brand new that just does not appear to be brand new. I've put on thousands of ICs and I've never seen one brand new come out looking like that. So let's go ahead and get this soldered onto place. So I'm going to apply flux, and we're going to get this flowed on here. This is the best. I've spent quite a bit of time working on this header. This is the best I'm going to be able to get this. Just the sheer amount of damage, but I did double check every single connection. Every single connection is good and solid, and there is no bridges. So I made sure to not have any bridge connections on this thing. So let's go ahead and get this solder flowed and get this IC flowed into place. All right, guys, so it is the next day. I actually had a family emergency I had to tend to, so I had to stop in my tracks, but as you can see, we got the HDMI IC put on from the donor motherboard. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Hackle solder iron. I'm going to heat it up. I'm going to tin my solder tip. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to make sure solder is flowed onto every single pad and make sure there's no, and then after that, I'm going to confirm that there is no bridges. Then we're going to hook it up to my power supply unit and see if we can be able to get a normal boot sequence on this one. All right, guys, so we got all new solder placed on there. You see how it looks 10 times better. Took me a while just to make sure nothing was cross soldered and everything was in place. Obviously, always after working after someone, there's always a risk. I'm going to test the power. As you can see, this HDMI port is really pushed in there. It's completely crooked. Actually rusted out as well, which I have no clue how that happened. But we'll have to replace that as well, but I want to make sure this power issue is resolved. So let's hook up our power bench test. All right, so have it hooked up to the bench power supply. Now let's go ahead and cycle 12 volts through it. It goes up to about 300 milliamps, goes down to 8 milliamps and holds. So that looks like a normal power boot sequence. So I'm going to power cycle it again just to make 100% sure and see what we get. It did go down to, looks like 6 milliamps, but could be because I turned it off. So goes up to 300 milliamps, which is what it should do. Goes down to around 8 milliamps, which is a normal boot sequence. So it looks good. All right, guys, so we have brand new HDMI port put in there. As you can see, we got the TV off. I'm plugging in my power now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the power button to get this to turn on, like so. We have it turned on. And let's see if we get anything on the screen now. Bam, there we go. Everything is good to go now. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Obviously, it's in safe mode. Once I ship this back to him, all he would have to do is just apply the update and everything, and he will be good. But I'm not going to leave this console on longer than what I have to because it's going to overheat, and which is actually what it just did just right now. While it was turned off, it literally just gave me the beeps as it was overheating. There's no liquid metal on it. There's no fan running on it. I'm not going to risk letting it sit on. So that was a very successful repair. So everything is good to go now. So just to recap, went on ahead, replaced the HDMI IC that the other repair shop messed up. Also, I put new thermal pads on the NCP section because they put, they come with thermal putty on there, but the customer, he took off all the thermal putty, so I put thermal pads on there, and everything is good to go now. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you go ahead and smack that like button, comment if you need anything, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to ship in any of your repairs, go to gogamers.com/repair, like how this customer did, fill out that repair form, and you could be able to get your console shipped in to us, and we can be able to get it fixed for you, like how I just did for this customer. So hope to see you guys on the next video, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. See ya.